Right, Shannon.
Stephen A., you saying top, you talking about bigs or top three in history?
I'm talking about bigs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You got nervous.
I think he's going to have a very
for a
compelling
second.
case when it's all said and done.
That's right. He will.
Yeah, absolutely.
We just talk about bigs, though. We just talk about bigs.
Yeah, and he's certainly not done yet. Either is Matthew Stafford, guys. So the Rams have granted him and his agent permission to talk to other teams to get a feel for his value. Stafford entering his 17th season, which I cannot believe he's been in the league 17 years. Finished 12th in QBR last season. Right, Shannon? However, the Rams can save $27 million by trading him before the June 1st deadline. Obviously, we just heard Mel. Teams like the New York Giants could potentially be interested in picking him up. Stephen A., which team would Matthew Stafford elevate to a Super Bowl contender?
There's two teams that come to my mind, Shannon. It's the Steelers and it's the Dolphins. I'm going to give most of this to you because the audience needs to hear from you on this, Shay, but I will tell you this. Stafford, you know he's set to make $27 million this year, which is why there's some friction with him and the Rams.
Yeah.
Make no mistake about it. He deserves $50 million. In today's quarterback market, when I'm looking at some of these quarterbacks that's getting this money, Shannon, let me throw this at you. Dak Prescott, $60 million. Trevor Lawrence, Joe Burrow, Jordan Love, all at $55 million. Tua Tagovailoa at $53 million, along with Jared Goff. Justin Herbert and Lamar Jackson at $52 million, and Jalen Hurts at $51 million. You damn right Stafford deserves $50 million a year. Even at the age of 37, the brother could still ball. So I would say to you, I look at the Dolphins with Waddle and Hill. I look at the Steelers with what they have. All they need is a quarterback, okay? I would say those two teams, Shannon.
Yeah, I can't say that I disagree with you. But elevate to Super Bowl contenders with the Steelers when you really only have George Pickens as your offensive threat. Now, we don't know what the running back Najee Harris.
You know what,
I think
Shannon?
Warren is also a free agent. I like the Miami situation. I really do. But I don't defensively. They need to upgrade defensively. But I like Achane. I like Waddle. I like Tyreek. They have some weapons. But elevate, not the Steelers. If you make me pick right now, Stephen A., I'm going to say the Dolphins because they have more offensive potential and firepower than the Steelers. But I'm not so sure either team gets elevated that high. But Matthew Stafford is the real deal, and he's better than some of those quarterbacks that you mentioned that's making a lot more money than he is, Stephen A. But that's what's causing the friction. He's like, bro, y'all think I'm going to sit here and play another season? And this money ain't got but $5 million guaranteed. Right. And I see all these guys that I know that I'm better than, and they're making $50 million, $55, whatever they're making, $55, whatever they're making. Matthew Stafford wants a big raise. Well, and I can see him probably getting a 3-year, $50 million extension, $150 million extension.
And here's the deal. This is not a guy that's at 45 or 47 million and is fighting because he wants that extra 3. Yeah. You're talking about a dude. Correct. You're talking about a dude that's 25 to 30, getting paid $25 to $28 million. In the case of Dak Prescott, $33 million less.
It's great value.
I mean, I'm just like, yo, he has a profound argument. Absolutely. Go ahead, Shannon.
Stephen A., let me ask you this. Would you rather have Matthew Stafford or Brock Purdy?
Matthew Stafford.
I would rather have Matthew Stafford. Absolutely.
I think so.
I would.
Too. I think. I definitely think. I think he would definitely help the 49ers.
Without question. But that's dependent. Listen, Debo wants out, right? Brandon Ayuk was hurt, and who knows how he's going to look when he comes back. You still got Christian McCaffrey there. You still got George Kittle there. I would say to you, Shannon. I would say to you, I think if Matthew Stafford was coming there, I don't know if Debo would want to leave. And I know they got love for Brock Purdy.
Of course not.
But Stafford's special, no doubt.
Yeah. What do you think about him coming to New York?
Why? Why waste his time? The Giants ain't going to be anything.
Big market.
The Giants ain't going to be anything. Giants ain't going to be anything. It's a waste of his time.
I understand they're not going to compete for a Super Bowl, Shannon, but just that market. You know, you look at the players like the Michael Strahans of the world, the Eli Mannings that played in New York, like what it does for your legacy.
They were drafted there, Molly. At this juncture of your career, Matthew Stafford has made money. Not to say that he doesn't want to make more money, but at the end of the day, I want something on the horizon. I want to be able to compete for something. And I'm not so sure him going to the Giants will allow him to compete. He was in the NFC Championship game last year. He's gone to and won a Super Bowl, played extremely well in that playoff run. Once you get to a certain age, at this point in time, I want to have an opportunity to compete game in and game out with a champion with a chance to go far in the playoffs. I'm not so sure the Giants gives him that opportunity. Now, Pittsburgh, we know Pittsburgh, Mike Tomlin, he's going to win 9-10 games every single year, make the playoffs, get booted out. I think if they had another player opposite of George Pickens that could also be dangerous, I like him going to the Steelers because we know they're going to play outstanding defense. But all things being equal, I think it's the Dolphins, but they can't get off Tua. They're strapped into with Tua's contract unless you're going to do a swap. And I'm not so sure the Rams are interested in a quarterback swap. I think they got Jimmy G and they got Stetson Bennett, who's a two-time national champ, and he was most outstanding player in both of those games. Maybe Sean McVay is so comfortable in his play calling and his system that he feels that he can put any quarterback in there and they can have a level of success.
The only pushback that I would give you, Shannon, is if we're acknowledging that the Steelers' defense is expected to be pretty damn good, especially assuming they retain T.J. Watt and they keep him long term, right? And you got to run a game with Warren and Najee Harris, right? I would like to see them get another receiver. Don't get me wrong. But if you got a quarterback that's got a running game and a defense, that could go a long way. That could go a long way.
Yeah,
and
but
Fryer
Stephen
Wilson
A.,
is
how
nothing
much
to sneeze
further?
at.
How much further do you really think in the AFC North? How much further do you think the Steelers are going if they have Matthew Stafford versus Russ?
Well, I'd retort that with a question. How far did we think the Steelers were going to go, period, over the last couple of years because of their quarterback situation? And they're always in the mix.
Expectations
so again, if you add a quarterback, who knows what that could do for them? Go ahead, Shannon.
Yeah, I do think Matthew Stafford is better than Russ. Stephen A. Najee Harris, they declined his player option, so it's going to be interesting to what happens with him. It's going to be very interesting. I don't know if Warren is a free agent or not. Their running game is okay, Stephen A., but it's not going to be the reason why they won a ball game. But they need to take some pressure off because you don't want somebody to just pin their ears back. We saw what happened in the Super Bowl when you don't have any threat of a running game and a team can just tee off on you. Look, I think the best situation is in L.A., but it seems to me the Rams are tired of him. It's a situation, Stephen A., that like I was in college, and my girlfriend and I, we were both sick. I was sick of her, and she was sick of me. It seems like the Rams and Matthew Stafford is running into a very similar situation. He's sick of them, and they're sick of him.
I don't think they're sick of him. I think they just know they can't appease him because of his demands. They know it's warranted. They just don't want to sacrifice their future for a 37-year-old quarterback. I think that's what their situation is on the side of the Rams. I think Stafford is disgusted because you brought me here from Detroit, and I delivered the goods. I brought you a Super Bowl championship. We gave the best competition to the Philadelphia Eagles this postseason, okay? I'm still a top 10 quarterback in the National Football League, and you looking at my birth certificate more than you looking at my game. That's what Matthew Stafford is saying, and I think to some degree there's a strong level of legitimacy to that argument. I can't knock that. And then Kirk Cousins, think about Kirk Cousins here. We know how he's been. 4 years, okay, $180 million deal, $100 million guaranteed, $45 million a year annual salary. That's $18 million more than Matthew Stafford. Okay, and Dak Prescott's at $33 million more than Matthew Stafford. If I'm him, I'm sick to my stomach. You damn right. I'm going for my money, without question.
But I will say the AFC North, I think, way tougher division. And if he ever ended up in New York, so is the NFC East now.
The toughest.
Yeah, exactly. All right, we'll leave it there, guys. Coming up, back to the NBA.
Hello, xin chào tất cả các bạn đã đến với kênh YouTube của mình. Mình xin tự giới thiệu, mình là người sáng tạo nội dung trên nền tảng YouTube. Mình sẽ sáng tạo những video cắt dán. Đây là những sản phẩm cắt dán của mình. Đấy, nội dung của mình làm trên kênh chính là cắt dán, và đây là những sản phẩm mình đã cắt dán mà mình vẫn còn lưu lại này. Đấy. Những đồ vật của mình sẽ làm là những đồ vật, động vật, con vật và rất nhiều những thứ khác mình không thể kể hết được. Đấy. Đây là một số những sản phẩm mình làm ra thôi. Và để tạo ra được những sản phẩm như thế này thì mình sẽ cần có những đồ dùng và dụng cụ như sau. Đây, trên tay của mình đang cầm đây là giấy thủ công nhé, giấy thủ công màu các bạn. Nó có rất nhiều những màu sắc, những màu sắc này mà kết hợp với nhau thì sẽ ra những sản phẩm tuyệt vời cho các bạn xem. Nó có những màu sắc như là xanh lá cây này, màu vàng này, màu đỏ này, cam này, màu xanh dương này, còn nhiều màu lắm nhưng mà mình không thể kể hết được. Và để tạo ra được những sản phẩm đẹp và nhiều màu sắc như thế này thì mình cần có một chiếc kéo này, và một chiếc bút này và hồ dán các bạn này. Và những công dụng của những này sẽ là bút thì sẽ là để phác họa, vẽ những sản phẩm đồ vật, con vật cho mình. Còn kéo của mình sẽ là